everyone, welcome back to the Loopy Studio, and today I'm here to talk about When Calls the Heart, Season 13, Episode 10. This one's called Blessings, and I thought this was a decent episode. I'm not sure if it was my favorite of the season per se, but I thought there was a lot of really good moments. I mean, obviously that ending scene with Nathan and Charlotte at Jack's grave was some of like the best stuff I've seen on this show ever. It was really emotional. It made me, especially Charlotte's scene, it made me really teary-eyed. So I really did enjoy that part of it. There was some of the ring stuff was just a bit cheesy to me. I didn't love that. I don't think we needed to spend a whole episode on just trying to get Elizabeth's ring size. It just felt like I'm glad that he's going to propose. I'm happy about that. I just feel like they're kind of dragging it out a bit. Sorry. So I'm not a big fan of that. And some of the investigation stuff kind of lost me. I mean, I kind of understood what they were doing, but I didn't really know why they were doing it. But I am looking forward to the trial, and hopefully that'll make everything a bit more interesting. But yeah, so basically we kind of start off right off the bat. Charlotte has not been to Jack's grave, and she's clearly not ready to go. She feels some kind of way about it. She's pretty much delaying the inevitable about facing her grief, which is a common grief tactic to try to push away what you're feeling. Very common, but that's kind of like an issue for her right off the bat. And we see Nathan, he has to wait until Florence leaves the mercantile, of course, to go over and tell Ned that he's looking for an engagement ring, and Ned is so excited. It was honestly really, really cute. He was so happy for him. And Nathan's like, don't tell Florence. I mean, because let's be honest, we know what would happen if he told Florence. It would ruin everything. So I thought that was pretty funny. And Ned's able to keep the secret, which is good, because if he didn't, everything would be messed up. But yeah, I thought that was funny. And then, of course, Florence came back, and she was so confused. Nathan and Ned are both awkward about it. That whole sequence was pretty funny. And so, yeah, Nathan has to find out Elizabeth's ring size. And I saw something somewhere that said he should just ask Lucas for her ring size. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's be honest, though, that's the last thing that Lucas needs right now. He is struggling with not with Elizabeth directly, but with the ramifications of how their relationship ended. That's the last thing he needs right now, is to be asked that. But I did think it was kind of funny. So basically, Nathan, Bill, and Georgie, their next move is they have to prove that National Insurance and Pioneer Electric are working together, and Nathan suggests they do something called a drip test, which basically they leak false information from one company to another, to one company and see if it gets its way to the other, is what they're basically trying to do. It makes enough sense, but some of it didn't fully make sense. I mean, they get Rosemary to carry out their plan, which makes total sense. I like seeing her involved in the investigation. Again, I've kind of missed it, but I also like Georgie's insights too. And I do think it being a trio works better, but it's nice to add Rosemary into the mix. It's a good role for her. So we also have some cute scenes with Mike and May. They're getting into pottery, which is interesting. I'm kind of honestly just going through a recap right now because this episode's a bit all over the place. There's a lot of quick scenes, so I just figured it'd make more sense if I just kind of went scene by scene very quickly. So Nathan tells Allie that he's proposing to Elizabeth, and Allie's not surprised at all. That was pretty funny. She's like, well, Dad, I already knew that. Like, I mean, that part of it was funny. I mean, let's be honest, Allie's wanted this for so long, so like, she's just not surprised. I mean, she's known that they're gonna get married someday, so she's like, whatever. I mean, I'm happy for you, but like, I'm not surprised. It was funny. So the plan is that they're going to make cookies with Elizabeth, and they're hoping she'll take off her ring so they can, while they're working with the ingredients. And of course, Elizabeth has to make things difficult like always. Just kidding. Not really. But she has to use a spatula to stir whatever they're stirring. And that just puts a wrench into Allie's plan to snatch her ring. I mean, let's be honest. How is Elizabeth not really going to notice? I mean, she does come up with a decent plan later on. I'll give her that. But, and then later on, they're having dinner, and Allie is trying to get Elizabeth to do the dishes so so she can get her ring. And of course, Charlotte messes it up by saying she'll clean. So then Elizabeth keeps the ring on her finger, and Elizabeth sees Nathan with the pencil and paper, and Nathan tells her it's for notes for the trial. Some of this was funny, and then there's some stuff like the pottery stuff was kind of cheesy. I will say that, but it's Nathan and Allie for you. They're so. And Elizabeth too. There's just something about this family, like they're really sweet and all, but they're just so awkward, honestly. I mean, it's kind of endearing, but it's kind of be a bit much at times. And Nathan literally tells Allie maybe he should just ask Elizabeth for her ring size. Like, what are you thinking, dude? Come on now. At that point, just go and ask Lucas. At that point, you have nothing to lose at that point. But thankfully, Allie keeps him in check. She's the smarter one of the two, and they're going to keep trying with that. So Rosemary, it was funny. Nathan, Bill, and Georgie, they kind of lecture her a bit, saying, the conversation needs to feel organic, and as much detail as possible so their case can be solid. So she meets with the national insurance representative, and it works out pretty well. She's basically saying that there's a controlled burn from one of the local blueberry farms around the same time the fire started, and whoever, like the guy she talks to, he writes it down in his notebook. So he's going to go tell the Pioneer Electric Company basically what he's heard. Rosemary also kind of uses an emotional tactic by bringing up how she lost her playhouse in the fire. I mean, she's really good at this. I mean, not saying that this is morally okay, but it's also for an investigation, so you kind of put that aside. This should kind of be her role rather than being like a sole investigator. She should be used for like these top secret like missions to like get more information. I mean, she's a reporter after all. She's just like an off recording reporter is basically what she's doing now for the greater good. So, and then of course Nathan, Bill, and Georgie, they love it. They were eavesdropping from upstairs. I thought that was pretty funny too. So then Oliver and Allie, they find Mike and May. They're making pottery. So Allie's like, oh, maybe we should make pottery so Elizabeth could take her ring off. She has May to hold a pottery class. So then she rushes over to the Mounties office to tell Nathan she has a new plan. Of course, Elizabeth is in there with her, so Allie has to say her idea is for Oliver's birthday party next year. I mean, it's probably the best she could come up with, but some of this was a bit cheesy. So then we get a scene I really liked, which was with Lee and Lucas. And basically, Lucas is saying that all of this is great, the rebuild plans for Benson Hills and all of that, but he feels empty inside. And Lee's like, it's what happened with you and Edie, isn't it? And Lucas says he's afraid of what happened with him and Elizabeth happening to him and Edie as well. And Lee says you need to confront the problem and to not let past experiences keep you from being happy in the future. And Lucas thanks him. This was a great scene. We needed to see Lucas spill what he was feeling instead of keeping it all toughed up inside like every male character does on When Calls the Heart. Just letting it all pour out to a close friend like Lee, which Lee's a good person to talk to about that, because Lee's a bit more mature than him. He's been through more. But I like that. I think it's good to see where Lucas's head is at. It's good to see that he's working through it. And I'm curious how this is going to be resolved. Like, I almost kind of wonder, are we going to get a Lucas and Elizabeth conversation? I'm not fully sure if that would be good or not. I mean, I would like to maybe see a bit more closure. I would personally like to see we knew Elizabeth realized how much she hurt Nathan. I would like maybe her to see how much she hurt Lucas in a sense. I mean, maybe not to the same extent, but I mean, they were engaged. So to a degree, maybe it was worse. I don't know. It's hard to say. We weren't in either of the guy's shoes. But I would almost like a little bit of closure there, but I don't think we're going to get it. I think it's an independent journey for Lucas, but I really like that scene with him and Lee. I'm liking that we're getting to see him confront his emotions, and I think that's really important because if he doesn't run his emotions, they'll run him around right back. So I'm glad he's finally realizing that he needs to be open and honest about what he's feeling. So I really did enjoy that. So Allie tells Elizabeth, let's go to this pottery class. So she agrees to go. And then this was a hard scene. LJ is drawing Charlotte alone on an island, saying that you're tough and you don't need anyone. And Charlotte, this clearly wrecks her. So after LJ goes to bed, Charlotte says she's not been able to visit Jack's grave because it'll be too difficult to deal with. And she tells Elizabeth, don't let anything bad happen to LJ because she doesn't want her to end up on an island alone like how LJ drew her. Oh gosh, this was heartbreaking. I mean, I don't think we fully realized until now how much Charlotte struggled with this, and it's a completely valid. I mean, your child is not supposed to go before you. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Only recently in the family has something like that happened before, and it is hard. Like in my family, I mean, it is hard. It just doesn't feel right, and it's so hard on the parents too. It's so hard. And so, like, with Charlotte, I completely understood where she was coming from. Seeing her alone on this island, it obviously completely wrecked her. It's just so hard to see. But Brooke Shields did an amazing job this episode, especially once we get to the grave scene, which we'll talk about later. So we have our pottery class, and all the ladies take off their ring. Even Elizabeth takes off her ring, so that she's making progress here. And Allie says we should all work with the clay blindly so they can connect with it. So everyone closes their eyes, and Allie grabs Elizabeth's ring and presses it into some clay to make a mold for it, basically, to track the size. I'm like, okay, this was pretty cheesy. I'm like, Allie, what are you doing here? At this point, maybe Nathan should just ask Elizabeth what her ring size is, and just, I don't know. It just, some of it, again, I didn't love some of this, but it was nice to involve the pottery, May's heritage into it. It was like a nice way to weave it in. So the head of Pioneer Electric, he comes to the police station and tells Nathan he has news about the investigation, which confirms that National Insurance did leak that information to Pioneer. So they are working together. So Nathan, Bill, Georgie, and Rosemary, they all get together and they say now it would be better to have Christopher to testify, but now they have proof that they are working together, the two companies. So yeah, that's great for them. The only thing I'm kind of confused about is that wouldn't they get in trouble for leaking false information? But maybe no one would find out. It's possible at the trial that might get brought up, though. We'll have to wait and see. That might backfire on them. I'm curious about that. We also have a nice scene with Bill and Georgie, and Georgie's kind of hesitant to get into a relationship with Bill. She doesn't want their relationship to turn out like her others did. Clearly, she's had her heart broken. And Bill says it can be different for them because they make each other happy, and that's the most important thing. I think that's so factual. I think if they make you happy, then all those other risks, like, they're worth it. If they make you happy, that's the most important thing. If you feel butterflies when you see them, that's the important thing. So I did like what he was saying there, and it was really sweet, and they kissed. I love them together so much. I'm just going to choose to live in the moment, no matter what Melissa's future is like on the show. I'm hopeful for the best, though. Right now, things look so great for them. And then we have Mike and May. They look at their pottery creations, and May just thanks them for being so invested in her past and taking an interest in it. They're really sweet together, too. I'm thinking I was almost kind of thinking there at the end she was going to tell him she was pregnant, but she didn't. I think in the finale she'll reveal that. I think they'll be our next pregnancy for sure, and next season we'll get a baby for them. They've hinted at it. Mike wants a family. I think May wants one too. I mean, seeing an interracial couple having a baby, I mean, that would be great. I mean, showing the show kind of making some progress there. I would love to see that. So Allie, Nathan, and Ned, they look over ring options. Nathan picks a ring, and Allie gets emotional, and even Ned gets emotional too, which I thought was pretty funny. And Allie says, "You know how much I love Elizabeth," and she's just so happy. And yeah, so it's so nice to see how far these Nathan and Allie have come. And Allie is finally getting what she wanted. And yeah, so I love that. And of course, seeing Ned cry too was pretty funny. So he had some good moments here. So let's talk about those grave scenes. Finally, we're getting to the end. So Nathan finds Charlotte. She's sitting outside the schoolhouse, and he shows her the ring and asks for her blessing. And Charlotte says, "Nothing would make me happier." And Nathan says there's one more blessing he needs. So they go to Jack's grave. Charlotte hands him some flowers, and he says he thanks him and tells him LJ and Elizabeth are doing great, and he vows that he will look after and protect Elizabeth and LJ, and asks for his blessing. And this breaks Charlotte. It was a nice monologue from Kevin. I did enjoy it. I didn't think he needed Jack's blessing though, but it was a way to get Charlotte to the grave, so I understood why they did it. And then Charlotte says, "I'm sorry for not visiting yet." And she shares a story when Jack was upset about not being able to go apple picking with her and Tom. We got a Tom mention, and she remembers finally giving in and asking to come inside because he was cold. And she tells him that now she feels like the one who's cold and that she misses him every day, but she feels his presence through Elizabeth, LJ, Nathan, and the rest of Hope Valley. Ugh. When she says, "Now I'm the one who feels like I'm cold," that broke me. Again, so valid. Honestly, in this episode, Charlotte was the best part of it, and honestly, she delivered probably one of the best performances this season. Brooke Shields is so talented, and you could just see it in her scenes here. I mean, I just love that we're getting this now. I mean, I feel like it's long overdue to see how Charlotte's been handling her grief, and to see her reach a step of the healing process, and Nathan being there for her. It was just really, really nice. It makes me want to meet Nathan's mom and see what their relationship's like. And I'm hoping maybe they'll do that next season, especially if we're getting a wedding. I would love to see his mom. But that was a great scene. I mean, I enjoy Nathan's talk with Jack, but Charlotte's broke me. I mean, I was legit, like, there was not, I mean, I wasn't like bawling, but there were tears for sure. It's definitely the first time since, I don't even know when. It's been forever since I felt like tears for When Calls the Heart. I'm not gonna lie. It might have been Jack's death, if I'm being honest, like a full circle moment. But thanks to Brooke Shields, she sold it for me. So yeah. And then the ending is Charlotte leaves. Unfortunately, I would have liked to see her stick around, but she had a natural ending. LJ hands her another drawing, but this time she's not alone. She's with Elizabeth, Allie, Nathan, and LJ himself. And Charlotte tells Nathan, it's just basically like, "You got it, dude." I don't remember what exactly she said, but she like pushes him towards the proposal. So, and then she leaves, and she's in a car with a small family. And one of the people she's with says, "You have a wonderful family." And Charlotte's like, "They're not my." And then the boys ask if the Mountie's her son, and she says he's like a son to her. And yeah, then they drive off. That was a great ending. I really enjoyed Charlotte accepting that she's a part of this family. And I think that's a great message, that she is welcome there anytime. She is a part of them because she doesn't have anyone. I mean, she has Tom, but we don't know how close they are. I like that we got a mention of Tom, but we don't know how close they are. So I really enjoyed it being Nathan to be the one to, tell her, like, "You are a part of us and you always will be." That's great. I would have liked a bit more of a scene with her and Elizabeth where they really talk about stuff, but I understand that maybe going that far would dredge up the Jack thing a bit too much. And maybe it was better for the stuff to be with her and Nathan. But I thought the Charlotte stuff was great. I would have liked a little bit more, I think, but they could probably only get Brooke Shields for so long, so I'm happy we got what we did of her. So I thought it was a good episode. I'm looking forward to the trial next week, seeing how that gets resolved. Hopefully Christopher will come back and do the right thing, whatever that looks like. And I don't think we're getting a proposal next episode. It's possible, but I'm thinking it'll be the finale. But they did get together in episode 11 of season 11, so there's nothing saying he won't propose to her next episode, but it wouldn't be till the very end, obviously. So it could go either way. But either way, I'm looking forward to that proposal. I'm looking forward to the trial. And yeah, so comment down below, what did you think of this episode? What did you think of the grave scenes, the efforts to get the ring, the investigation stuff? What did you think of all of it? And yeah, I'll see you guys next week, and bye everyone.